my sports media icon, idol. This is like in my life. If I'm like, who do you look up to? Like, who do you idolize? It is this person, Nick Wright. First things first, released a quarterback tier segment, and it is questionable to say the least. Steve and I found a lot of things wrong with it. We called first things first to do like a welfare check on Nick to make sure he was feeling and doing okay. Because like
there's one thing on this list that is just abhorrent.
And if you haven't seen the list, or if you have seen it, you're gonna know what that one thing is immediately. So we are going to take a look at this list and give our thoughts and some rearranging. Now, I will say this before we go into it. It is not the full graphic. It is only the most important part, which is the top upper tiers. So let's take a look at Nick Wright's quarterback tier graphic. Here is Nick's, I was saying tiers, quarterback pyramid, because it is different. Quarterback pyramid, my apologies. So these are the top 21 quarterbacks according to Nick. There's a lot of things wrong with it. Steve, I think we should just go through and kind of pick out some things and have an open discussion. First things first, which always jumps out to me immediately, I think Jared Goff and Justin Fields should be switched. Jared Goff was criminally underrated this last season to begin with. I think Jared Goff has a top 10 quarterback argument, whether being at 9 or 10, no higher than that. Justin Fields, I think, is going to be better this season, as I said when we ranked their division last show, but hasn't proven anything yet to be above some of the guys he's on top of. So, yeah, I'm saying Jared Goff just right off the bat should be moved up a tier with Justin Fields.
My biggest issue with this whole list is the fact that Caleb Williams is on this list. Listen, he's not a bad quarterback, but there is a massive difference between playing quarterback in college and playing quarterback in the NFL. You play a quarterback in college, the teams that you're playing against may have a few guys that are NFL caliber players. Maybe.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams last year was 0-3 against top 10 teams, losing to Tulane in the bowl game. Now, I understand people, look at what he put up in the regular season. 4,500 passing yards, 42 touchdowns, and only had 5 picks. Where those numbers are good and all, I can list you at least 5 guys right now who had better numbers than that, went to a national championship, and sucked in the NFL. Vince Young, Matt Leinart, Sam Bradford, Colt Brennan. He didn't go to a national championship, but look up his numbers. And RG3. Caleb Williams being on this list, it is just wrong.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. He said in this segment that Caleb Williams was the top 10 quarterback alive. That's just absolutely ridiculous and wrong. There's no evidence to support that. We've heard a lot of quarterbacks and just NFL players in general come from college to the league and say it's a different animal. Just saying Caleb Williams is a top 10 quarterback alive is just ridiculous. Having Trevor Lawrence above Jalen Hurts is also blasphemous to me. Jalen Hurts was top 10 in passing yards, top 5 in passer rating, top 3 in yards per game, and came in second in the MVP. He came in second in the Super Bowl. He was going to be the Super Bowl MVP if they would have won. He is the fast, up-and-coming, one of the 3 best quarterbacks in this league. Having him below Trevor Lawrence is just ridiculous. Trevor Lawrence has proven nothing to me or anyone of why he should be above Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, I think, checks more boxes at the quarterback position than Trevor Lawrence, and we at this point have much more evidence to support Jalen Hurts being up a tier than Trevor Lawrence. So I just think, Steve, that is egregious.
I don't think Trevor Lawrence is going to be an all-time great. I'm going to stand on that take on this show. I don't think he'll ever finish top 5 in the MVP race. I just do not think Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback, period. Jalen Hurts is the clear-cut third option in the league to me. He is the 3rd best quarterback in football. People can give me an argument for him to be 2, and I'd listen to it. But having Jalen Hurts outside of the top 3 in the MVP or in the best quarterback in football conversation is just wrong.
Yeah. Nick explains like what the tiers kind of like represent, like what they all have in common. So for the bottom tier, that criteria was that those quarterbacks are good, just good, but you can't rely on them to win you games.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true for Jared Goff, and that really might be it. I think the rest of them, that's fair criticism, but I would say I would move Jared Goff up anyway. But what do you think about that?
Deshaun Watson has a question mark next to his name because it depends what version of Deshaun Watson we get, because at one point in time, he was a top 5 quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah. The row next above that, he had that they can win you some games, but no more. Like, they'll win you regular season games. They'll get you a winning team, but they're not going to win you championships. They're not going to get you great postseason success or like, a 1 or 2 seed in the conference, but they'll give you a good above 500 record. Again, the order, I guess, and where they rank can vary, but I think that lines up for that tier, that row.
I mean, other than Justin Fields being on that list, I'm replacing him with Jared Goff. But yeah, I mean,
yeah,
Tua to me has a question mark. I know I'm a little biased, but he has a question mark just because Nick Wright even mentioned him. He's like, Tua, we don't know because of health issues. Like, I watched the show and he said he's on this list because of his inability to stay healthy. But if he plays a full season, he could very well move up. So, other than that, Kirk Cousins, you know how I feel about my man Kirk. It is what it is.
So the next row, he then said, were unquestioned top 10 guys, but they can win at a higher level. Than it's kind of like a mixture of the next 2 tiers. Like, they can win at a higher level, but can they get to an elite level? Like, there's a big question mark. Like, Dak has a lot of bad playoff moments. I think that Dak's a super overrated playoff player. Justin Herbert's won a lot of games. Can he win big ones? Lamar Jackson hasn't had any real success since his MVP. And can Aaron Rodgers get back to doing Aaron Rodgers form? So, like, you see what I mean by that?
Yeah, but even okay, that's fine. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to win you late season games. He hasn't done that in almost 10 years.
But I'm saying like that, but that's the reason why they're there and not, step up.
I got you.
Yeah. So now the next tier up, he said just absolutely, unquestioned top 5 guys, and dare to say even superstars. That's pretty much all he said. I mean, Caleb Williams should be there. Yeah. And the top 2 tiers, I mean, Mahomes is Mahomes, but he said for that second tier, again, unquestioned top 3 guys, bona fide winners, superstars, going to win you games, all that good stuff. And then Mahomes just being Mahomes. So there's a lot of things wrong with this list. I think Nick does a really good job at ranking things. Usually he's done NBA player pyramids. He does tier rankings for NFL teams and NBA teams, and he usually does a good job. But this is just egregious. And again, I think we need to make more phone calls to Fox to make sure he's really doing okay mentally.
Having Trevor Lawrence as a top 3 quarterback in the NFL is laughable, and you're a better person than that. So
this pyramid is just bad. But we did our best to correct it and make it right for the sports world. We can't let things like this go unchecked, because then if we're not here to do it, then Steve, who will?
Listen, who are we, Cam?
The Sound. Yeah, all there is. All right. Next quarterback pyramid. Listen to the sound. I listen to the sound.